All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. If you guys would please stand with us and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll go for a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated. All right, we'll welcome everybody here. Is there anybody here that's wishing to speak on any of the regular consent agenda tonight? Nobody? Okay. In that case, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the regular and consent agenda.
I move that we approve the regular and consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, so I guess we'll go right on down to
Well,
the...
you want, hold on,
Go ahead.
Mr. President, do you want to recognize the retirements from the consent agenda, or what do you want to do that?
That was on the retirement recognition.
Oh, next item, okay.
Everybody go to now.
Did I miss it?
No,
No.
Mr. Robert can't follow along. That's all.
Back.
All right, so we'll move on to the information and recognitions, and we'll do the retirement recognition.
Okay, that's me, I guess. Well, come on up here.
I thought if she missed it, I didn't get to retire.
All right. Well, yeah, can we skip this?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm sure that everyone in here knows Tina Johnson. How do you not? Tina is a Titan through and through. She went to school here her whole life, sent her daughter here, sent her grandson here, drove a bus for 37 years, 36 years, and worked in the cafeteria for 25. So she was always the first one there, always one of the last ones to leave.
Somebody has to turn the bin on.
This is true. And I don't know who's gonna do that next year. We're gonna be in trouble. But I just wanted to recognize her because she has been such a light to the cafeteria, and I can't tell you how much we're gonna miss her and how different that kitchen's gonna be without her.
I'm gonna come up with them.
But I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy. I hope you get to do all your travels and all of that you want to do. And the corporation has this rocking chair and blanket for you.
Thank
It's a
you.
gift, so.
Don't let Sam use it.
What did you say?
He said, don't let Sam use it.
He
Looks like a small back here.
There's you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for your service. Outstanding.
Thank you.
You should have one when you retire from bus driving.
she
One will do, we can both fit in that one.
Well, let me put it this way. One of the girls asked her, "Are you going to stay on the sub list?" And she said, "No." So,
When it's time
but
to
she knows she can if she wants to, if she gets bored. So,
We did have a second retirement as well, and Amy is unable to be here tonight, but Amy Friend is retiring after 30 years, corporation elementary teacher. And I don't know if you guys know her very well, but she is such a sweetheart, and the kids love her. She runs a great classroom, and one of those where she doesn't have to raise her voice and get crazy. The kids just respect her because of who she is, and we're going to miss her in the elementary.
Very good. Okay. All right, guys, we'll move on to the monthly financial reports that Renee puts out. Assuming everybody looked at those. Is there any questions? All good? Okay, so those will be filed subject to audit. And then the first reading of the Neola policies and procedures from volume 38, number 2. I had Mindy put just a highlight, just an overview in there of things that I thought might be critical to us or should look at. A lot of this stuff we covered in volume 38, number 1. So, and they're just things that, deletions, revisions, changes that were necessary to comply with the state laws, both state and federal. So, there was a revised policy 1623, 3123, 4123, referring to the prohibition against disability discrimination in employment. There's an updated and revised policy 166201 and 02, talks about threatening or intimidating behavior towards staff members. And I've got underlined there, establishes zero tolerance. Technical correction of policy 3121, talk about personal background checks, references, and mandatory reporting. And then a big one, policy 5136, they call them PCDs, personal communication devices, including cell phones, have to be in lockers, no access at any time during school hours, including smartwatches and other designated devices. The only question I had, guys, was that exceptions included emergency, students with disabilities, translation services, and emergencies could really open up a hole. So hopefully we're careful about how we determine what emergencies are. So, but no access to phones at any time during the school day going forward. And then this one we already covered, but they wanted to reemphasize corporation compliance officers. Neola suggested that the board appoint both a male and female to serve as corporation compliance officers. So we had Heather and Brandon. If you remember right, we had Jake and Heather, or the designated person is named as the main investigator decision maker. There was also a description of the number of days recommended for evaluation, investigation, and appeal process, which was 5. So if you have a chance to look some of those things over before we actually vote on that the next meeting, it would be great. So that's it. Any questions? Comments? Okay. All right, so we'll move on to new business. First one, I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of the 2026-27 crisis management plan.
Mr. President, I'll move that we approve the 2026-2027 crisis management plan as presented.
Second.
Any discussion, any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 5-0. All right, consideration of speech language pathology services agreements. Steve, do we need to do all 3? Is this all 3 clumped into one of this group of individuals, or do we approve each one of them individually? I don't agree.
Because there's 3
That's
separate,
perfect.
there are 3 separate contracts.
Okay.
So we probably should do them first.
Okay. So I'll entertain consideration of the speech language pathology service agreements with Karen Norris.
I move that we consider the speech language pathology service agreement with Karen Morris.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, good. And then I'll entertain a motion to consider the speech language pathology service agreements with Andrea Vogt.
Go
ahead.
I move that we consider the speech language pathology services agreement with Andrea Vogt.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 5-0. And thirdly, I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of speech language pathology service agreements with Grace Maple.
I move that we consider the speech language pathology agreement with Grace Maple.
And second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 3 all pass 5-0.
You want any input from that? We have Audrey here. Do you have any questions or?
No, these people just come on staff part-time?
Yeah, so Andrea and Karen have been with us for the last several years on independent contracts. Our new addition, which I'm super excited about, is Grace Maple. She is going to work as a speech language pathology assistant, And so bringing her on actually allows us to discontinue our contract with the virtual provider through a contract agency. So, it's always exciting to hire a Taylor grad to work with us, of course, but in this case, it's definitely a financial favorable exchange as well.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to C. I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of THS student handbook revisions.
I move that we approve the THS student handbook revisions as presented.
Seconded.
Steve, do we know what those revisions were, or?
Yeah, I have a summary. Brandon obviously is on vacation. Some of the changes were reformatting to make things simpler to understand. But some of the key things that we changed the number of referrals to 8 per semester or 15 for the year before a student is going to be put up for expulsion. That was reduced from 20. And that was, I know that we had looked at some area handbooks to see what their policies were, and ours was too high. We'd already brought it down a little bit, but we're just going to edge it down a little bit more. The expectations are that kids know how to behave, so we're just going to try to hold them accountable for the behaviors. There was a section added regarding, and this is in all of the handbooks, transportation director will have a bigger hand in handling discipline on the bus without assistant principals. We felt like this was necessary to give the director a little bit more responsibility in assigning, if a kid would be removed from the bus or phone calls were made home. We're going to have that person do that for us.
Does the transportation director have experience in discipline in his previous job?
Not quite to this extent, so there's going to be some training on how to handle it. This person will not be on an island, so there won't be, he's just going to make decisions and we're going to live with those decisions. He's going to be guided on how to do that. But a lot of it could even be him pulling the video and watching it and then talking to a principal saying this is what's on the bus, and then making that decision with the principal. But there's no reason for a principal to go and get a tape off a bus and take it back to the office and watch all that when they're trying to run a building. So they'll work together, but we just want to give them a little bit more responsibility in handling some of those things. And a lot of it is just basic school bus safety. Kids can't be walking up and down the aisle. Well, we warn you and we call home. That person, the director should be able to assign a day off of us or whatever that, just as a passion teacher.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay. And there's some other minor ones, but those are the big ones for the high school.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. And now I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of the Taylor Middle School student handbook revisions.
Mr. President, I'll move that we approve the Taylor Middle School handbook revisions as presented.
Seconded.
Heather, anything specific or different than what we had? Or?
Some of the changes that Mr. Deshawn talked about, Brandon and I worked together to make sure, and Jake as well, to make sure that we were in alignment across the corporation. I think probably the biggest one would just be number 6, which is academic expectations. Mr. Deshawn, did you share that with them previously, or do I need to go into that? Number 6 is the accountability plan.
I would like you to explain that.
Okay.
I think this is fantastic, and I think you guys are going to be completely.
Yeah, so it's number 6. We're under academic expectations. And so this year, as you know, we tried to implement an incentive program with the grades, giving students an additional time period during lunch who had 1 or no Fs. And so those students got a 45-minute lunch. They got extra time in the field house. So to me, this is kind of our next step in our progression of just trying to hold students at the middle level more accountable, because we hear far too often, I'll do it when I get to high school. It doesn't matter now, I'll do it when I get to high school. And so that's a true limitation for us. So as I said, I think this year we made some progress with what we were doing with that incentive. And this has been something that we had years ago when I started. So I just kind of revisited what we had. So number 6, as you see, says that students will meet 3 of the 4. Now, obviously, Mr. Deshawn and I talked. we're not looking to retain, 150 kids or anything like that. We're just looking to have a little bit more teeth and accountability into what we're doing with our academics. And so we're saying in number one that students need to show growth, and they can show growth on the I-Learn checkpoints. And a lot of that is, when I was talking to Mr. Deshawn last week, we had so many students who just have undetermined on their checkpoints. Undetermined means there wasn't enough data to even give them a score. So we have students who are just sitting there, either just clicking through or just sitting there long enough, not even answering. So we can't even get data off of that. And so, we need something to say, this is important that you take this test seriously and that you give us the data therein so that we can help you in terms of our intervention. So I put the checkpoint dates. We're in alignment with what obviously the state says, 94% attendance. And then saying that students must earn a passing grade for the semester average in all their classes. So we feel like this year, starting at 1 or 0 Fs to have the extra lunch time, we felt like that was a good start. And we saw good numbers with our data. We definitely showed that there was progress there. And then the last thing, students must not have more than 5 separate incidences that result in ISR or OSS. So we feel like you should come to school, you should do what's expected of you, and that's come to school and learn. And that, I think, kind of is in alignment with where Mr. Shaw talked about, kind of moving that, in terms of the repeat offender number down a little bit, starting to focus more on, we're here to learn, not, have lots of shenanigans, so to speak.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
On number one, they must show growth in math and English. What if they don't?
So that's something where we're hoping in terms of remediation that then we get to checkpoint 2, then we can say, okay, you're showing growth. We know there are different skills and different standards. Then that may be a situation where we're saying, okay, that was an anomaly. We know they're not going to be perfect right at the onset, but this is something that we're hoping we start now, and over time that we start to see that progress. We're not, like I said, if not every student doesn't show growth, we're not going to retain 150 kids.
So how strict are these criteria? It says they must meet 3 or will meet 3. What if they don't? Is there leeway there, or is it?
And so we're going to start having conversations with parents and saying, like, this is important. Your child is, your child. Yes, they're not currently on standard. They're not on pace, and so we may get more involvement. We may not. We don't know, but at least letting parents know. And that's something that we also talk about, because there's now a bill, I think it's SEA 239 or something like that, where we are required now by law to notify parents if their child is falling behind in math. So some of what we're doing just kind of falls in line with some of the things that we have to do anyway.
Granted, these are changes to the handbook, but I know when I was in school, I personally didn't pay a lot of attention to the handbook. How are we getting this message?
I'm going to start with the communication. We're going to begin sending that out on Parent Square. And we might even at some point do a video to share with them. We're going to make sure they have multiple opportunities to see this. We'll stress it. We'll have information at the open house that we do. What I love about this is what we talked about from the beginning is we know where we started, and we know every kid's not going to pass I-Learn or whatever if they start 2 grades behind, but there's no reason in the world a kid can't show growth. Right. That's all we're asking is a little effort to show some growth. If you do that, you meet that criteria. So I don't think that's even remotely asking too much.
Heather, have you seen the same thing? One of the boys that I mentored, he missed over 80 days. And of course, he just went ahead and went on with first grade. But I was told by the administrator that DCS said after 42 or 45 days, that it said don't call us anymore. Do you see that in the middle school? Have you had experience that as well? What do we do with organizations that won't comply with what is actually a state or federal law, right?
Yeah. There's not much we can do. In her building, it's not as much DCS, we go through Quest, which is through McKinsey's thing. And they're supposed to go from probation and go before the judge, but it takes forever to get to that point. I imagine that they have the same number of workers they've always had. They put this in place, now they're inundated, and the judges don't have time to try cases, let alone bring a bunch of people in for attendance. So that's what I assume is happening.
Well,
But
we
we
send,
have a lot of those types of kids.
yeah, well, we send those guidelines out to the parents as well, so they understand from day one, this is what's gonna be, so.
Yes, we did that last year. There was a lot of, we got a lot of phone calls and angry parents about those kind of things.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's, you can't teach them if they're
No.
not in the building.
Yeah. But it gives us some leeway as long as they get them and they read them and if they understand them, that's all we care about, right? That gives
We've
us
made home
leeway.
visits with SROs,
Yeah.
with one kid kids. So, I mean, we've got spreadsheets with God knows how many times we've attempted to contact and we've reported.
Cool.
And we did have parents last year that heard the message, because we had parents who called and who were concerned, like, this is day number, X, whatever the day was, and hey, I just need to make sure, I don't want, I don't want to get in trouble, I don't want my kid to get in trouble. So there were parents that heard the message, and then, there were some who just, they
Sure.
were absences and extenuating circumstances.
Sure. Well, thank you for that. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then the third one is, I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of Taylor Elementary, school student handbook revision.
Mr. President, I'll move that we approve the Taylor Elementary School student handbook changes as presented.
Second.
And it sounds like it's in line with the other two, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, so let's go on down to F. I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of Taylor High School student fees.
I move that we approve the Taylor High School student fees for 26-27 school year as presented.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. So, is there a question?
I just want to make
Just
sure.
make sure that we don't pass elementary. Jake had given me the change. I want to make sure you guys,
Okay.
if you had any questions.
Okay, so let's go to G. I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of Taylor Middle School student fees.
Mr. President, I'll move that we approve the Taylor Middle School student fees as presented.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. And then I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of the Taylor Elementary School student fees.
I move that we approve the Taylor Elementary School 26-27 student fees as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moving down to I, this one does my heart good. I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of athletic trainer agreement.
Mr. President, I'll move that we approve the athletic trainer agreement as presented.
Seconded.
And this is just our personal agreement with Addie, correct?
It is through community power. So
Oh, we're still gonna be through them?
we are. So we're paying for her services, but then their portion is they will help with her licensure, her training, and all of that. So we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. We just get to have her on campus to take care of our kids. And finally, we get to evaluate her. Everyone.
Oh, cool.
I know
Yeah,
you have.
I can't wait for that one.
For all those temperatures and.
No, she's one, we yell.
Oh, we've had web ball readings already today, so we're on top of it.
Hey, Brady.
We love her though, we do.
How long have you been here, Addie?
It'll be 19 years in July.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's a superhero. All right, any questions, anything else? Good, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, keep her.
Yeah, she's best in the area.
All right, and then, Jay, I will entertain a consideration of the 2026-27 school calendar revision.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the Taylor Community School Corporation academic calendar for 26-27 as presented with the listed changes.
I'll second it.
Any major changes on that? So I kind of looked over it.
I'll make a word.
It's hard to see.
No, it was a typo,
It's
right?
it's the times that start.
Oh, that's right.
It's the end times, right? I can't remember what it changed. End
It's the end times, and then it's the start and end for elementary school. It was the way that we adjusted, changed the schedule with our periods during the day. And part of that, if you know, and Jake's changes to his handbook, he put those new times in there. So reducing one period of the day and expanding the times, the high school now goes 7:50 to 2:38 rather than 2:46, which is great because we'll get the buses back to the elementary a little bit earlier, because that's always been a bit of an issue. And then elementary is going to go 8:25 to 3:15. So not a huge difference, but
Okay, very good. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's 5-0. And lastly, I'll entertain a motion for the consideration of the 2027 Safe School Security Grant application.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the 27 Safe School Security Grant application.
Was that just, Steve, was that just for our SROs? or-
that's how we pay for SROs every year. Yeah, it's a 50-50 match, so.
Okay, very good. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Okay. Mr. Deshawn, or anybody, anything else?
So we should find out, hopefully by Friday or early next week, if we got a $25,000 digital grant. I'm hoping that we got that. We just turned in another grant that would hopefully award us $3.3 million over the next, would be the course of this year and 3 years after that. We'll find out in August if we got that one. Kind of banking on that one.
And what is that?
It's called the Next Gen SIG grant. And what that means is the first year we get $300,000 and we prepare. We get to plan how we want to change our schedules, how we want to implement some new people into the system to help us. We can go visit other sites who've done major changes, see how they run things. So it'll allow us to have a point person who's paid through the grant to run it. And then after that, then we have those years to spend $1 million per year to implement, which would mean that we would put people in each school to be a literacy coach or to run interventions or whatever that might be that we decide is the answer. The group that I'm working with, the person that helped write the grant, she ran the Kokomo transformation zone for a while, so she's got a lot of experience in this. So we're going to really lean on her if we get this. She said she'd be good for us.
When did you say we'll find out?
That one I think is August. So it's very competitive. I mean, I don't know what the chances are, but we felt really good about what we submitted. So, I mean, that would be a game changer for us. And then the financial report. So I know you looked at this year's to date. So I compared that to last year's, because basically last year we lost some money. So our real changes that we're making won't start taking effect, obviously, until August, because that's when we get back to school, that's when most of the changes come. However, I did notice that we'd spent less, $300,000 less from January to May than we did last year. So some of the things that we started are paying off already. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
Steve, may I ask I know we've done a lot of things with the college course and everything, getting the kids ahead when they graduate. What are we doing? I know our music and our art department is ahead of everybody. But what are we doing within the school in terms of, I know we did financial literacy. What else are we doing vocational wise to get our kids ready to graduate?
We have had a big push with business and project-based learning. We get a lot of CT money for that. The kids taking like entrepreneurship, running businesses, those kind of things. We send a lot of kids to Career Center. That's our biggest, is sending them to the Career Center, because we can't host a lot of those things. So there's not a lot that we can do in this building, sadly. But we knew that with business, there's a lot of avenues for teaching real world things. And obviously you have the business math, for your financial literacy, and those kind of things, so they all kind of work together, but we do get reimbursement for those classes. It's like $700, $715 for every week.
Excellent. Anything else? Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait a minute. Next month we're going at 5, right?
We are going at 5 o'clock for highlights.
Put the data highlights.
Yep.
Okay, very good. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Very good. Ms. Mitchell?